So you heard Brooke then talking about, the people she's talking to, otherwise known as anecdotal evidence. And as you know, we say this a lot here, anecdotal evidence may or may not align with, actual research. Might not be representative necessarily of the facts. So so she explained that, and then I've just given the last couple of minutes here to Chloe, because Chloe responds to the people that Brooke was talking about. So Brooke is talking about all these people who are offended and, and not getting jobs, not getting kicked to the curb and anything. I'm not playing that clip for you, not to show favoritism, but it's pretty obvious, that kind of response. And then Chloe got a chance for a couple of minutes to respond to the kinds of people, not directly, but talking about them, that Brooke had sort of engendered.
Well, I guess this is all best summarised, what Brooke has just outlined there, by when you are accustomed to privilege, equality feels like oppression. If you want to look at the stats and the facts,
it does sound like a t-shirt. That's quite a good one, actually.
The data, which this government has said that they are committed to in their coalition agreements, despite then going on to list a range of commitments which are completely the antithesis of that. The facts show us that Māori are disproportionately overrepresented in every single negative statistic in society, whether you're talking about mental health rates, whether you're talking about poor housing, whether you're talking about educational achievement, criminal justice system, or otherwise. Those are the direct consequence of dispossession of resources and land, which is a result of colonisation. We have a pathway to address all of that through Te Tiriti o Waitangi, through He Whakaputanga, through an opportunity to actually meaningfully reconcile with our history and to partner in a better future for all of us. Yet this government seems intent on throwing mis and disinformation out there, such as to sow those seeds of discontent and to add to that fragility which they themselves have identified as an issue. But if we want to talk about the baseline division in this country, it's apparent in the IRD and Treasury reports from last year, which showed us that the wealthiest 311 families in this country hold more wealth combined than the bottom 2.5 million New Zealanders. That is not an accident. It is a consequence of a tax system which sees the wealthiest people in this country pay an effective tax rate less than half of that of the average New Zealander, less than
just like we said before, will ACT give us a say in that? New Zealanders should get to vote on that, shouldn't we? Maybe we should vote on that, maybe.
Our firefighters, our teachers, our nurses, our frontline emergency service workers. And that is the supposed hard choice that Christopher Luxon and this government is making, to keep that tax system in place and to push the rest of us back into poverty.
All right. So, there you go. That was Chloe's response to those people.
I'm ready to start building barricades. No war, but class war.
So, and I actually genuinely don't want to be unfair to Brooke by not playing hers, but it was talking about the people that she's talking to, and that was a response to it. So I think that's pretty clear where we're standing, and I think they're right. Okay, so I've talked about this before. When you do talkback radio, the "and then what" is a lovely question. Someone phones up with a complaint. Okay, and then what? Or what next? So if the biggest concern by ACT is to give New Zealanders a voice and give us the right to speak into some of these things, let's talk about those 311 richest families. Let's talk about taxing them what? Give New Zealanders the right to speak into that. I kind of feel like, Chewy, if you were consistent with everything, I actually wouldn't have that big of a criticism for you. I'd disagree with you, but I wouldn't be critical of you. And because the ACT Party is going first and foremost down that path of race, okay, so if it's really about the public having a say, let's start on another one first. You can get to race, but let's start on tax. Show us that you're really wanting to talk about everyone having their say rather than just dog whistling. Because if it's about everyone having their say, let's start with tax first. Maybe let's go to homelessness after that. And then how about the fifth one can be race? Because then you'll have demonstrated to us that you're being authentic and genuine with wanting us to just have a say. And if you only want to do around race, then yeah, homie, don't feel that at all, Chewy.
Homie, don't feel that. Yeah, it's so jarring that we had so much talk in the lead up to the election about identifying where the holes in our tax system are, the people that aren't paying the same effective tax rate as everybody else, the talk of changing tax brackets, the talk of all of these things that could have some pretty fundamental changes to both the government's tax take and the effect that would have on their available budget and how that could be poured back into the benefit of the country. And then we get none of it. Absolutely none of it. Not even the good stuff that the right suggested. Like they were pretty big on, the tax brackets are wrong. I tend to agree with that. But we get nothing. Not in the first 100 days. Not important. Cost of living crisis. Not going to do anything about it.
But everything to do with Māoridom, we'll make sure that's on the table super quick, straight away.
Absolutely on the chopping.
We'll put our shop front up. Our shop front will be Māori issues, and that's the first 100 days.
Yeah,
we'll get that out there.
All of the savings for their tax cuts, they're definitely in the back room. We haven't looked, but they're definitely in the back room. Okay, cool. So you've had a look at the books now. Well, they could be in the back room. We could also have to sell off huge chunks of Auckland to overseas investors. I don't want to get into that at the moment.